Hello and welcome back, guys. Today we'll be diving into the sci-fi action franchise titled Iron Man. Without further ado, make sure to sit back and relax, because I promise you this is going to be an epic one. The movie begins with a convoy of military vehicles driving through the Afghanistan desert. Tony Stark is riding in one of the Humvees, sipping a drink and bantering with the soldiers, showcasing his charismatic and confident personality. The lighthearted interaction is abruptly interrupted when the convoy is attacked by insurgents. Explosions rock the convoy, and Tony scrambles for cover. He sees soldiers being killed and the situation quickly deteriorates. In the chaos, a missile is revealed to be one of his own company's, lands near Tony and explodes nearby, causing severe injury, and he starts to bleed out. Tony is captured by the insurgents and loses consciousness, after which the narrative then shifts to a flashback set 36 hours before the ambush. We are introduced to Tony Stark's luxurious lifestyle, highlighting his brilliance and fame. The flashback begins at an awards ceremony in Las Vegas where Tony is being honored with the 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐥𝐢𝐻 Award. Instead of attending the ceremony, Tony is in a casino, gambling, and flirting with women. His friend and military liaison, Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, accepts the award on his behalf and expresses frustration at Tony's absence. The flashback sequence highlights Tony's playboy personality, as a journalist, Christine Everhart, confronts Tony and presents evidence that his company is selling weapons to terrorists. After the conversation between them leads to Tony having fun time with Christine. Next day, Tony left for the weapon demonstration in Afghanistan in his amazing sports car towards Rhodey, who was already waiting for him at the airport. Upon arrival in Afghanistan, Tony presents the Jericho missile, a new and powerful weapon developed by Stark Industries. The demonstration is a success, after which Tony departed with the convoy without Rhodey. The sequence returns to the present time, following the ambush. Tony awakens in a cave, restrained and hooked up to a car battery. He discovers that an electromagnet has been implanted in his chest to keep shrapnel from reaching his heart, a life-saving measure performed by fellow captive and Dr. Yen-Sin. Tony meets fellow captive, Yen-Sin, a scientist who helps him understand their situation. Yen-Sin becomes Tony's ally and confidant during their time in captivity. They bond over their shared desire to escape and their moral conflicts. With the 10 Rings action, Tony and Yen-Sin devise a plan to build a device for which he uses the components of the weapons and make an arch reactor to power an electromagnet and keep the shrapnel away from Tony's heart. Tony prepares a rough escape plan in paper in systematic manner so that no one can detect it. Soon they also begin constructing the first Iron Man suit using scraps of metal and spare parts from weapons provided by the terrorists. Utilizing their engineering skills and resourcefulness, Tony and Yen-Sin work tirelessly to assemble the components of the Iron Man suit in secret, hiding their progress from the 10 Rings. This involves welding, soldering, and improvising with limited materials to create the prototype. The risk of discovery by the 10 Rings intensifies, as the head of the terrorists come to them and start torturing Yen-Sin for the missile he promised. Soon he leave with a warning that they must hurry as they have no time left. Tony and Yen-Sin finalize their plan to escape. They know they must act quickly before their captors discover their activities. Tony faces the challenge of powering the suit and ensuring its functionality for their escape. When the time comes, Tony dons the Marcum suit, ready to confront their captors and make their escape. The suit proves to be formidable despite its makeshift nature, allowing Tony to fight his way through the terrorist stronghold with Yen-Sin's assistance. During the escape, Yen-Sin makes a heroic sacrifice to buy Tony time to power up the suit and escape. His death deeply impacts Tony, further motivating him to use his intelligence and resources for good. Tony destroys the enemy camp with the weapons while killing each and every terrorist in the process. Soon he starts the ignition and fly away in the far desert, and after landing the suit disintegrates. Soon he was discovered by his friend Rhodey. After successfully escaping, Tony returns to the United States. He is physically and emotionally shaken by his ordeal but determined to make significant changes in his life and the world. Tony's experience in captivity prompts a profound change in his perspective. He confronts the reality of Stark Industries' role in supplying weapons to terrorists and decides to take responsibility for the consequences. He announces his decision to shut down the company's weapons manufacturing division, a move that shocks his business partners and colleagues. In this part, viewers witness Tony's intense focus as he devotes himself to the development of the Mark II suit. He utilizes his vast resources and intellect to create a sleeker, more advanced version compared to the crude Mark I. Throughout this portion, Tony is shown working tirelessly in his workshop, experimenting with various material, components, and systems to enhance the suit's capabilities. Tony's continued work on the Mark II suit, which represents a significant advancement from the crude Mark I suit built in captivity. The Mark II suit is sleeker, more technologically advanced, and capable of sustained flight. We witness Tony's anticipation and excitement as he prepares for the suit's maiden flight test. During this segment, viewers witness Tony's ingenuity and dedication to improving the Iron Man suit. He implements various upgrades and modifications to enhance its capabilities, such as refining the suit's aerodynamics, improving its power source efficiency, and enhancing its weaponry. These upgrades reflect Tony's commitment to perfecting his alter ego's arsenal and ensuring that Iron Man is equipped to face any challenges that may arise. As Tony completes the final adjustments to the Mark II suit, he receives reports of a conflict erupting in the village of 𝐂𝐢𝐥𝐥𝐢𝐿, Afghanistan. Without hesitation, Tony decides to intervene as Iron Man, using his newfound abilities to take action against injustice and protect innocent lives. Tony suits up in the Mark III armor and flies to the region, where he single-handedly takes on the terrorists who are threatening the innocent villagers. This sequence showcases Iron Man's incredible combat capabilities as he effortlessly dispatches enemy forces and protects the civilians. As Iron Man engages the terrorists, he employs an array of weapons and gadgets built into his suit, demonstrating his technological prowess and strategic thinking. The action-packed battle highlights Iron Man's determination to use his newfound abilities for good and his willingness to put himself in harm's way to save others. Following the intense showdown in 𝐂𝐢𝐥𝐥𝐢𝐿, Iron Man's actions draw the attention of the United States military, specifically the Air Force. As Iron Man returns from the battlefield, he is intercepted by fighter jets dispatched to apprehend or engage him. This confrontation escalates tensions between Iron Man and the US government, as they perceive him as a potential threat or unknown entity operating outside their control. The encounter with the Air Force underscores the complexities of Iron Man's newfound heroism. While he is hailed as a savior by some, his actions also raise concerns about accountability, oversight, and the potential ramifications of his vigilantism. Tony Stark starts to piece together the evidence that 𝐂𝐫𝐴Z𝐬𝐿, his trusted business partner and mentor, has been working against him. He realizes that 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 has been dealing under the table with the Ten Rings terrorist group, selling Stark Industries weapons. On the request of Tony, Pepper digs deeper into 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's activities. She accesses 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's computer and discovers incriminating evidence, including video footage of 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's meeting with the terrorists and a plan to build his own suit. 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 confronts Pepper, who is copying the files onto a flash drive. Realizing she's been caught, Pepper barely escapes with the help of Agent Phil Coulson, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. The scene shifts to 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's workshop, where he is overseeing the development of a larger, more powerful suit of armor, the Ironmonger. This project is a direct result of reverse engineering the original Mark I suit that Tony built in captivity. 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 ambushes Tony at his home. Using a device that temporarily paralyzes Tony, 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 forcibly removes the arc reactor from Tony's chest. This arc reactor is what powers Tony's life support and Iron Man suit. After taking the arc reactor, 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 returns to his lab to power his own suit, the Ironmonger, which is much larger and more powerful than Tony's Iron Man suit. 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's intention is to use this suit for his own gain and potentially for nefarious purposes. Tony is left incapacitated and struggling for survival. He manages to crawl to his workshop and retrieve his old arc reactor, which is less efficient but keeps him alive. Meanwhile, Pepper and Agent Coulson, along with other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, head to 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's lab to arrest him and stop the Ironmonger project. They are unaware of the full extent of 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's capabilities and the danger they are walking into. 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿, in the Ironmonger suit, confronts Tony Stark. Using the power of the stolen arc reactor, 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 is now a formidable adversary. The Ironmonger suit is larger and heavily armed compared to Tony's Iron Man suit. Tony, weakened and with his own arc reactor struggling to keep up, must rely on his wits and agility to combat the superior firepower and strength of the Ironmonger. The two engage in a fierce battle within the Stark Industries complex. The fight is brutal, with heavy damage inflicted on the surroundings. Tony tries to exploit the weaknesses in the Ironmonger suit, using his knowledge of its design and his own suit's agility to his advantage. 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 uses the environment to his benefit, showcasing the destructive capabilities of his suit. During the battle, Tony's arc reactor starts to fail. This adds a ticking clock element to the confrontation, as Tony must not only fight 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 but also deal with his own diminishing power supply. Tony realizes he needs to lure 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 to the rooftop to put his final plan into action. Tony and 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 take their battle to the rooftop of the arc reactor facility. The stakes are higher as they fight above the city, with the potential for greater collateral damage. Tony instructs Pepper Potts to overload the large arc reactor in the facility. This plan is risky and could result in significant fallout, but it's the best chance to stop 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿. As the arc reactor is about to overload, Tony uses his last bit of power to hold 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿 in place. The overload creates a massive surge of energy. The resulting explosion is intense, severely damaging 𝐁𝐢𝐥𝐿's suit and incapacitating him. Tony is also thrown back and barely survives due to the protective capabilities of his suit. The scene shifts to a media frenzy outside Stark Industries, where reporters are gathered, eager to get a statement from Tony about the recent events. He starts reading the provided cover story but becomes increasingly uncomfortable with the lies. So Tony decides to abandon the cover story and boldly states, "I am Iron Man." This confession shocks the room, leading to a flurry of questions and chaos among the reporters. In the post-credit scene, Tony returns to his home, where he finds Nick Fury waiting for him. Fury introduces himself as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and mentions the Avenger Initiative in the MCU and sets the stage for the interconnected series of films. The end. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification so you can watch more videos like this. See you in the next video.